For the third time this season, Sean Rash is back on Fox Sports in a televised final looking for his 18th PBA Tour title. And today, he has some help. Teammate Matt Ogle rejoins Rash as they hope to win their second Roth Holman PBA doubles title.
Oh, I still have it!
Welcome to the first event of the 2022 Guaranteed Rate World Series of Bowling. The most iconic doubles duo in PBA history. On the left, Marshall Holman. On the right, the man who changed the game forever, the great Mark Roth. This duo captured 3 doubles championships, 2 powerhouses, intense competitors all the way, and 2 Hall of Famers who combined for 56 titles between them. Today, we honor the memory of the great Mark Roth and, of course, Marshall Holman, who is here for the Roth Holman Doubles Championship, the start of the Guaranteed Rate PBA World Series of Bowling, lucky number 13. Welcome to Wisconsin, everybody. Here are your teams. The defending champions couldn't make it. Sitting at the top, DJ Archer and the Candyman, Sean Maldonado, Oscar Palermo, and Jacob Buttripp. The one team that has won this title before is in the middle. Sean Rash and Matt Ogle, Kenton Tackett, Smallwood, and Sterner will be our opening match. Hello again, everybody, along with the Hall of Famer, Randy Peterson, and Kimberly Pressler. I'm Dave Lamont, delighted to be with you here in Wauwatosa. And Randy, let's focus on one team. Much like us, they're besties. DJ Archer and Sean Maldonado, they're 0 for 3. It's been frustrating when they get under the lights, but they're in a different position this time.
Yeah, they sure are. And by the way, welcome back, man.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you back. Yeah, but you're right. They're in a different spot. They're the tournament leaders. The worst they can do is second, obviously. But this has been a really nice duo over the years. This is their 4th telecast, and today they only need 1 win to capture this great event.
On the other side, in the opening match, we're going to see 2 wickedly talented bowlers in Marshall Kent and EJ Tackett. They haven't won, but their path to defeat, I guess is the way to say it, is completely different.
It has been, and you know, they've led this tournament a couple of times. This is their 5th time making the telecast in this tournament, and ironically, that ties Marshall Holman and Mark Roth. They made it 5 times. But you're right, this time it's going to be much harder. They have 2 seconds, 2 thirds, but today they have to climb the ladder to win this event.
And that duo is standing by with Kimberly right now.
Thanks, Dave. So, EJ, Marshall, you guys have been here. This is your 5th time. You have a set of 2nd place, a set of 3rd place. EJ, how do you get that 1st place finish today?
Well, we've got a long road ahead of us. A lot of great bowlers on this telecast today. We're going to throw a bunch of strikes. Practice lanes are playing a little bit weird, so I'm not sure what to expect with scores. Just got to go out there and throw the best shots I can, and 1 match at a time.
Marshall, you were feeling a little bit rowdy, shall we say, last night in the pre-interview. So what's the mindset coming into today?
Well, I told EJ game 1 yesterday. I said, I woke up angry. I'm angry all day, and I woke up angry again today. So, you know, it's either going to be really good or really bad, so we'll see what happens, but we'll just go from there.
How do you take that anger and apply it into something positive today?
Take it out on everybody else.
There you have it. Let's get ready to bowl, guys.
It sounds like they're ready to bowl as we show you the odds provided by Fox Bet, and we'll just point out that that duo you saw there is plus 800, and we'll leave it at that.
In the 5th seed in the World Series of Bowling, PBA Roth Holman Doubles Championship Finals, Tom Smallwood and Jason Sterner. And in the 4th seed, Marshall Kent and E.J. Tackett.
All right, now something we need to explain to everybody. We're bowling on 2 patterns here, Randy. The left is the Mark Roth, the longer pattern at 42. The Marshall Holman pattern on the right is 38. And the left lane may well be the key here.
Yeah, and when we talked to all the players last night, Dave, they all said the same thing. You beat the left lane, you have a great chance of winning.
Take a look at the graphics on the right to explain all of that. And you watched Marshall, and you told me, I don't know about this because he had a hard time in practice.
Yeah, he was struggling to hit the pocket on that lane. And a lot of the other players had trouble as well. The right lane's the easy lane, or the easier of the 2 lanes. And we'll get to the old pattern in just a second.
Now, the other thing we need to point out to you all as we look at Tom Smallwood here, partnered with Jason Sterner, is we're in a part of the house that was not used in qualifying and in match play. This is a sort of a split house, and we have a beautiful TV set here, but these bowlers are seeing these lanes for the first time. Boy, you see that ball track on the oil there. Now you're watching the first event of the Guaranteed Rate PBA World Series of Bowling number 13. Next Sunday on Fox at 1 Eastern, the PBA World Championship presented by Pabst Blue Ribbon. And then 3 nights in a row, live on FS1, the Cheetah, Scorpion, and Shark patterns. And then the PBA Collegiate Championship in 2 weeks on FS1 at 2:30.
All right, so left lane, 1 ball high by Marshall Kent. This one light by Jason Sterner, coming off his best season the last season.
And by the way, a title is awarded here. So Jason and Smallwood managed to run the ladder. It'll be the 4th title for Jason and the 2nd of the PBA standard titles, but it'll be the 4th total title for Smallwood, who of course has 2 majors. Tackett on the right lane. Quitter 10 there for EJ.
Spun it.
Came around the corner a little late there, Dave, and that's why he left that kind of unusual 10-pin.
I mentioned you could see the effect of Tom Smallwood's strike on this oil pattern. We got 2 of them here.
Holman on the right, you're going to see the players actually get it back from the outside part of the lane. And on the left lane, the Mark Roth pattern, they're going to be playing all over the place. Maybe a lot of urethane going straight.
That looked good.
Yeah, just that quitter 10-pin forward.
All right, run down.
You heard Marshall just say 2 forward, meaning his roll was 2 forward, which then made the shape off the end of the pattern a little softer.
As you would expect, can't manage that, so clean start for these 2 teams. And of course, something else about Tom Smallwood, and we'll hear from Kimberly on this in a moment, is something very, very unique to happen to any person. We'll talk about that the next time Tom gets up, because he's not shooting spares at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's tougher than rhinoceros jerky, and he's showing it early on right here.
I've always called him the unsinkable Tom Smallwood. TV lights don't bother him. He just lowers his head and does his thing.
Yeah, he's unflappable. He's just a bulldog.
Take a look at Jason Sterner's arsenal.
Sterner using the infamous. Oh boy.
Wobble, but it's going to stay. Goalposts in frame number 4 for Sterner.
Well, that left lane is the Mark Roth pattern. Mark Roth, the first player ever to make the 710 on television. Fingers crossed.
And during a special ceremony honoring Mark today.
And Marshall Kent is using a Wrecker Extreme. Smallwood using purple tank on the right lane.
And there we have a strike on the infamous left lane.
Yeah, first one. So for all you bowling ball enthusiasts out there, you know what these 4 players are using here in game 1.
Yes. Now, we mentioned Tom Smallwood's story that he left a job at General Motors. Actually, they left him. They laid him off, and he devoted himself to bowling. And Kimberly, this is going to turn out the whole country is going to get to know the Tom Smallwood story intimately.
They sure are, because a lot have heard the Cinderella story. Smallwood winning the main event at the World Championship at the World Series of Bowling in 2009. But later this month, the nation will be able to see how
That
it
was
all
awful.
unfolded as how we roll a TV series based off of that event and his life from losing his job at a Michigan auto factory worker to making his bowling dreams come true. It debuts March 31st, so check your local listings for all the air times.
There you go. Thank you, Kimberly. And Small is able to avoid that troublesome split. Instead, just smothers the spare. And I think that's probably where he's so unflappable. He's faced some hard times and got out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Sterner off of a 7-10. He has gone 9 spare, and then, of course, the open frame in the 4th. Look at that, 299 in the title match.
And a ball change, I think.
Oh, crossed over Brooklyn, 3-6-10.
Yeah, to finish that thought, Quantum Evo Pearl. And keep in mind, like, Brunswick has 7 brands. Storm has 3 brands. There's a lot of bowling balls out there. Thank God for Christus, who's sitting next to me, giving me all that information.
Well, also during the interviews last night, we found out that Tom Smallwood drilled the ball for Jason Sterner. Sterner didn't even know it.
Right.
So we're going to step aside. We're in the middle of match number 1. Kenton Tackett has a 23-pin advantage. The winner of this match will move on to take on Matt Ogle and Sean Resch in the Guaranteed Rate World Series of Bowling, number 13.
Mark Roth was my hero growing up. The buddy of mine growing up, he was taller than me. He ended up being 6'7", and about 300 pounds. But he was Mark Roth, and I was Marshall Holman, and we bowled against each other every Saturday. I have memories of him from being young at 7, 8 years old, and then later on met him first time at the shootout, where he was, you know, it was awe-inspiring for me to watch him. Later on, he was a team captain for some of the summer events, and I actually got to know him on a more personal level, and get the Mark Roth MVP award at the PBA League from him. And I have nothing but fond memories, and what a tremendous champion, and a sad loss for the bowling community.
And you see Denise Roth right there in the middle next to Marshall Holman. Had a chance to say hi to Denise yesterday. Just a personal note, my thanks to Mark and Denise for the kindness they've shown me over the years as well. And certainly we all miss Mark terribly.
Yeah, that was an understatement, Dave. And I'll tell you, Mark was terribly lucky to have Denise in his life. See, a 3D comparison powered by Kia. Marshall Kent on the left lane, that's the red ball. The blue ball is the line on the right lane. E.J. Tackett's playing. Break point is very similar, but you can see completely different angles.
And Kent, and that's his best looking shot of the match so far on that troublesome 42-foot pattern.
Come on, baby. Well, 4 bag after 3 9 spares, and a beautiful shot here to capitalize on the strike E.J. Tackett just threw. Now Smallwood and Sterner. Big hole. 7th frame. And he's using a blue tank, not a purple tank. We tried to look it up on the internet, but it's not even released to the public yet.
Well, maybe it should be.
Oh, it will be eventually. The new release balls typically go to the professionals first, distributors, then the pro shops, and then the public. But beauty again by Smallwood. He's been all but perfect on that lane.
But the left lane, talk to everybody, all the bowling we watched, has been the headache, and for half a second there was another 7-10 sitting there until the 7 was wiped out.
Well, remember his last shot on that lane was 3-6-10. He went high, so he moved in. Him and Smallwood had a little conversation during the break, and just not enough oomph on that shot to get the 10 out.
Sean Resch, Matt Ogle await the winners.
Yeah, my bad.
E.J. Tackett. Now this counts as a PBA Tour title, so Tackett grabs this. This will be number 15 for him. and Marshall Kent number 5, and his first since 2017.
He's using a blue coral venom. Not released yet. There's a lot of things going on that I don't know about.
Well, this guy could throw a marble and get his... Oh, yes!
Look, baby, let's go! Crank it up, that's right, baby!
Pay the man!
Can you hear the sound now? Crack open that daddy soda.
PBR all around. Yeah, look at him. Six-pack. He knows. Read his lips. However,
Too little, too late. This match is mathematically over. Look at that.
All right, Mark.
Thanks for having me over. 2 7-10s for Jason Sterner.
well, he's got to try to make it for obvious reasons. That ball smothered the 7-pin to kill the chance there. But a great week and for Smallwood and Stern. And, of course, the World Series continues with so many more events right here in Wauwatosa. So is this going to be a different doubles for Tackett and Kent? Because we've talked at the top of the show, they haven't won this event yet, which is so hard to believe. But they've always been a 2 seed or a 1 seed. Here they are sitting in the number 4 position, and they're going to have to fight their way all the way up. Maybe this will work.
They're going to have their hands full in next match. You've got Sean Rash, who's been as hot as anyone this year on tour, and Matt Ogle coming up, and they've won this before. But a great start for E.J. Tackett.
Gotta wait on my ball.
And Marshall Kent.
Maybe some of that anger that Marshall spoke of in his interview with Kimberly has dissipated. Boy, is he fun to watch. My goodness.
Yeah. I think he's pound for pound the most powerful strike ball on tour.
One down.
So next up, it will be Marshall Kent, E.J. Tackett against one-time champion Sean Rash and Matt Ogle. This duo bowled brilliantly yesterday. They're ready to win it again. Never happened before in the history of the PBA. Until this happened, it was Mark Roth who rams the 10 into the 7 for the first 7-10 conversion in the history of the PBA Tour on television. This was 1980, the Alameda Open. That had been Chris and Bo back then on the call. And today, PBA Commissioner Tom Clark and those 6 Hall of Famers, including my partner, Randy Peterson, taking part in a ceremony. 34 seconds of silence, 1 second for every one of Mark's PBA titles. Tommy Jones is there. Randy, you're there, and you came back, and it was emotional.
Yeah, I mean, he meant so much to so many people. And it was a sad way to lose one of the greatest in our game. And you know.
And then a beautiful gift signed by many of the bowlers who are participating in this event. You see Parker Bone, the great Bone there, TJ, Wes Malott, the new Hall of Famer, Chris Barnes, and of course this great Hall of Famer here. And you mentioned Denise and what a strong woman she is, and she had to be because Mark did have some well-known health difficulties. But I loved his stubbornness. He showed up, man, when he could.
Yeah, it's no wonder he won 34 times.
Yeah.
Winning 8 times one season. I mean, I grew up watching him and Marshall Holman. Those are my 2 idols growing up. And the house that we lived in, I used to throw a little rubber ball down the hallway and try to imitate their styles. And those are the 2 I looked up to.
Yeah, incredible men, incredible bowlers. And one of them standing by right now with Kimberly, of course, is our friend Marshall Holman.
Thanks, guys. So, Marshall, you were Mark's doubles partner, but you also competed against him for years. So what was that like?
Oh, it was great, Kimberly. It was always an event when Mark and I bowled each other, and I was fortunate to beat him a few times, and he beat me a few times. But it was always great, and you know, Mark was the man that changed the game, and even looking back to when we were competing against each other, he had so much fun bowling. No one loved it more than Mark.
And what was your fondest memory with him, or of him?
Well, you know, winning the 3 doubles championships was magnificent, but you know, they show the clip of him making that 7-10 split. I bowled Mark the next game after he made that split. When he made it, he got moderately excited. I was going nuts off to the side. I would think that was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. Of course, I was known to emote a little more than most.
And he was so chill. Now I see that you're over there. You've been watching all of this. What's it like to have yours and Mark's name on this championship?
Well, it's very special, and certainly with Mark's passing, you know, for Mark to live on in our hearts and our memories is wonderful. You know, it is the Roth Holman doubles. Mark's name was always first, and it will always be first.
Denise's wife said in the pre-show that he was one of a kind, and I couldn't agree more. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you both. You saw Commissioner Tom Clark, of course, with the Mark Roth T-shirt wearing under his jacket today. I've seen Tom trot that beautiful T-shirt out a few times before. All right, let's talk about, you noticed the video of them signing the trophies.
Yeah.
It was Sean Rash and Matt Ogle, and
Right.
who's in the next match?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a good one. You know, Tack and Kent put together that six-bagger in the middle of the game, which really was the difference. Smallwood Sterner had trouble putting strikes together, but sure wasn't the case for Tack and Kent.
And Kent figured out that left lane near the
He
end,
did,
and
yeah.
that is the lane we've talked about already, and every player who had to bowl on that left lane talked about with us yesterday how difficult that is. So we'll see how Rash and Ogle will approach this, and again, they are the only ones of the 5 teams in here with the title, but they're taking on a very hungry team in E.J. Tackett and Marshall Kent. It'll be number 3 versus number 4 when we return to the Guaranteed Rate PBA World Series of Bowling number 13, the Roth Holman doubles.
Mark changed the game. You know, we see his fingerprints and DNA through all of the power players that we see today. Probably one of the most surreal and maybe even emotional moments was when Mark pulled me aside at a tournament and he kind of hugged me and he whispered, he said, you know, I might have changed the game in the old days, but you've changed it today. And to just hear someone whom I've looked up to, someone that I recognize as one of the greatest of all time, someone who changed the game globally, say that to me, I'll never forget that. It was a really, really special moment.
We take a look at Mark Roth, and Randy, that was an interesting comment that Belmo made right there. 6th all-time for Mark in PBA titles, 3-time player of the year, 2 career majors, high average 6 times. We lost him in November, but I loved Belmo's comment.
Yeah, it was very eloquently put. Just like our guest that we have in the booth, Mr. Marshall Holman, who, your speech was magnificent. I mean, you did your friend proud.
Well, you know, it's easy to speak from the heart, and gosh, as I said with Kimberly, Mark loved the game so much, and he was the biggest part of the game back in my day.
And Marshall, you know, there was going to be a very unusual leave right there until we ended up with the 4-7. Kent finished very strongly on the left lane.
Love you too.
We have Marshall in the booth and Marshall on the left lane. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Holman, what did you take away from game 1?
Well, as I was watching game 1, I saw E.J. Tackett playing the part of Mark Roth, and then Marshall Kent would be me, and it's appropriate.
I got a little tumbly with that one, I think.
I think that
I got a little tumbly with that one.
E.J.
is
he's the more polished of the player.
The 2019 Roth Holman doubles champions are in our number 3 seed. Welcome Matt Ogle and Sean Rash.
And Marshall Kent is certainly more emotional, as I was, and interesting to watch.
He hadn't reached your level yet, bud.
God, for his sake, we hope he never does.
So Matt Ogle on the right lane.
Oh my goodness! Did you see that, Messenger?
Well, as Randy would say, that was filthy.
Take a look at this. Headpin goes to the sidewall and just looks like it got shot out of a cannon and comes back across with a defibrillator and yells, "Clear!"
That was our Snickers satisfying moment of the match. Oh my God!
That's one of the worst shots you're ever going to see Sean Rash throw, and I guarantee you, right now he loves it because it carried.
And it's a double.
Yeah. And nothing satisfies like a Snickers either. And Sean may need one if he throws another ball like that.
Well, that ball just didn't go off of Sean's hands clean. I mean, it was left of left.
Left of left.
Randy, is that not quintessential bowling? You see Rash get the best break in the world, and then Tackett goes up there and absolutely purees it and gets nothing.
I don't know how that's physically possible to see what we just saw there.
Well, when you have as much power as EJ does and you're playing that kind of angle, we saw it last week with Chris Prather.
Well, the bowling balls are so much stronger. I mean, we never saw that back in the 70s and the 80s because the balls never finished that strong into the pocket. You know, I tell my friends in my Tuesday night league, if you leave a solid 9 and they come back like they just got the worst break, it's really like a modern day 4-pin.
Yeah.
There you go. Kick save and a beauty on the 10-pin for Marshall Kent. Now in 2019 in the Roth Holman Championship, Rash and Ogle climbed the step ladder. And awaiting at the top were Kyle Sherman and Brad Miller, who darn near made this show. Just missed out. Really came down to the last game for them. And they beat him 213 to 200 at Fire Lake. That is Matt's only tour title to date. And of course, Sean has 17 of them. And he bowled beautifully this year.
Yeah, and you can see why. Look at the big board to your right. Rev rate. But then if you look at the blue and red lines, you can see how much farther right that last shot was. That's the red line. It was a good 3 boards to the outside down lane.
You heard him say he pulled up on it.
He just gave back.
Just gave it back, right.
A great break, and now the match is very even.
One time, me and you.
Of course, Sean has everybody. I mean, Marshall's a big dude. I understand where that power comes from. How does Tackett do it?
Well, he's got a big arm swing, and he gets his ball in a great position to come through, and so does this kid. You know, they're just Marshall has a larger body, so he can do it. What should be easier, but when you watch Tackett,
he makes it look so easy.
He makes it look so simple.
Yeah.
Nice comeback there for Matt.
Randy, it's still fairly early in the game, but I see this shot by Rash in the 6th frame being extraordinarily important. He's had 2 balls. One was terrible, got lucky and struck. The last shot threw beautifully.
Sean Rash going with dark code on that left lane. But no, I agree with you. I think this is a very important shot.
A little left, but it held.
Man, it laid there.
It did. Was that a different ball?
I'm not sure. I think it's the same ball. That just laid right there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Middle of match number 2, 2019 winners Sean Rash and Matt Ogle picking out a team that's gotten hot. Already won one. Kent and Tackett will the conclusion of this match when we return to Wauwatosa. That, I believe you professionals call that high flush.
Yeah, that ball.
Pretty much.
Roy Buckley, who passed away last year, used to call that the Pilgrim Ball because it was an early settler.
Well, look at the potential scores in this match here.
Inside, and that laid there.
It sure did.
Let's take a look at this 3D graphic, and it's Strike Track 3D powered by Kia. And it's the way Sean Rash and Marshall Kent are playing that left lane. You can see how much deeper Sean Rash is. Marshall Kent, higher rev rate, faster ball speed, going straighter.
Must be the dynamics of his ball that allow him to do that.
Somebody forgot the mute button.
They see Matt's arsenal.
3D offset is what Ogle's using.
At this point, every shot's a must strike.
Yeah, sure is.
Boy, that was beautiful.
Big time shot there when they needed it most.
Yeah, his messenger shot in the first frame was dynamic, but that was a better shot.
Yeah, it was. All right.
You see what Rash and Ogle did with them yesterday. This would be a 5th straight strike for this team, and they're the team that's trailing.
Sean told me that before this started, before any of the matches started today, he said they're practicing too much. They're ruining the lanes. The lanes are getting really difficult. Well, it looks like they're doing okay.
Yeah, it looks like the right lane broke down. We saw EJ Tackett move farther left, but it also looks like the left lane is now creating hold in the middle part of the lane.
Yeah.
Should point out that we've already awarded the PBR 6-pack to this duo, so this 6th straight strike.
That's got a hook.
Oh my. How? That was almost as fortunate as Sean's strike in the second frame.
I agree.
So they will not get they've already won it. You can't win it twice.
Well, maybe you and I can buy them a 6-pack after the show.
I think they better be buying. They're cashing today, man.
That's a good point.
This team looks really good.
It's a big shot now, Marshall, like you said. If Marshall Kent doesn't strike here, they can lose.
Yeah.
Which is so hard to believe.
That was money.
Beautiful shot. You know, in the past, Marshall has had a tendency to get a little fast towards the end of games, and his ball goes longer, but that he kept the speed great.
However, while one team has already won, this team can win right here. This is a Pabst 6-pack alert for Sean Rash and Matt Ogle. And if Matt strikes here, he and Sean will split $1,000, sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Please remember to drink responsibly.
And if they want any chance to win, he has to strike here.
Messenger and front of the 10 pin.
Yeah, look at these numbers, folks. Leave it up for me just a little bit. There we go. Look at that number there. So again, it's 4 boards right of the last shot that you loved from his last time on that right lane.
Yeah, that was outside target, went long, made them move back, but only 9.
Matt out of Louisville operates a landscaping business. I think he is the landscaping business, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Very successful with that in Kentucky. And Sean has had a terrific year so far. Well, I'll tell you what, Marshall, talking to everybody yesterday, they were saying how hard the left lane is. Kent and Rash have made it look silly.
They have made it look very simple, and you know, aside from that first shot that Rash threw in the second frame, beautiful shot making for both the teams.
Come on, one more. Well, one more strike here, and EJ Tackett just needs 9 on the first ball, and they're going to advance once again.
Yeah, but it forces EJ to go up and make a quality shot.
Yeah,
so
hey, thanks for
it's
saying
still...
something. I'm not allowed to.
Uh-oh, is Sean being Sean again?
Well, somebody may have made a comment regarding equipment, perhaps, and Sean did get in some trouble for that on a telecast earlier this year. Had to sit out a one-tournament suspension. Boy, he's thrown some gorgeous strikes.
That's all we can do, So did they.
But it's probably not going to be enough for the 2019 champions.
Well, I wouldn't mind having the ball in this guy's hands when he needed one.
That's true, but you know, he went light last time. Isn't it the professional adjustment to maybe go a little high the next time?
It sure is. And he did exactly that.
High flush.
Yeah.
I've got your professional adjustment right here.
E.J. Tackett is an exceptional player. And boy, he just threw that as crisp as could be.
Well, we've talked about it a lot. EJ's so overdue for a win. You know?
Well, remember the World Series last year?
One more down.
He was at the top of everything and walked away with nothing.
Yeah, no hardware.
Yeah, which is incredible to believe with his gifts and work ethic.
Now watch this, Marshall. He's going to a different ball. And I think he actually moves farther left with this ball. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Much farther left.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
So it's going to be Ken and Tackett. Adjust the volume on your TV set a little lower because Oscar Palermo's coming up, the loudest striker in the building, and we got our only lefty is coming up next, Jacob Buttriff. Marshall, it's awesome to see you again, my friend. And thank you for dropping by.
Great to have you back in the booth. Great to be with Randy. Certainly great to be at the Roth Holman doubles. Thank you, guys.
So great to see you again, as always.
All right, Randy. Thanks.
Bye, buddy.
I think I found my new best friend.
Mark meant a lot to bowling. He meant a lot to me. He was definitely somebody that I grew up idolizing, wanting to be like, watching his just cool, calm demeanor, and then just how he just always seemed to scare his opponents.
And there's that double that Mark wanted.
It's a terrible thing for bowling when Mark passed, but he was such an ambassador of bowling and loved bowling so much that he's one of the reasons why I do what I do and love what I do. I received a text from Mark about getting into
And that was a surprise after all the strikes that Marshall has posted to see a quiet 10-pin.
Quitter 10, quiet 10, or as my buddy Rob would call it, stupid 10-pin.
Routine for Marshall.
All right, babe. Good shot.
In the number 2 seed in the PBA Roth Holman Doubles Championship Finals, Oscar Palermo and Jacob Buttriff.
The odd couple.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I mean, these guys couldn't be farther apart on either side of the spectrum. One righty, one lefty. But it's good to see this guy again. Not a good start.
No, and that's surprising because yesterday we had a chance to watch him utterly dominate the 38-foot Holman pattern that he is bowling on here.
Looks like he's using a purple hammer and he's throwing it really hard up the right. I'm wondering what that's going to do to E.J. Tackett's line to the pocket on that right lane.
And the other issue that we have to find out here is we saw E.J. make a ball change, kind of a fishing expedition with the last shot since he knew they were going to win. Does he stay with that ball? Does he go back with what's been working so beautifully? Here is the lefty. And no surprise to see Jacob Buttriff rip a rack.
Yep, staying with the same ball for now. Yeah, so the only thing you have to watch for with EJ on that right lane is if the ball starts to get to that same spot and then it starts to wiggle.
Okay. Nothing wiggled there.
Another beauty.
didn't match 2. There you go. There's your 10-pin.
Yeah, right-hander's best friend when the 6 goes to the sidewall and gets charged with unnecessary roughness on the 10-pin. Look at that.
You know, these guys have yet to win this event, which is shocking. This is their 5th show. They have come close. They have been beaten in finals. Second, both times, to Jesper Svensson and Kyle Troop. Well, there's an adjustment, and it didn't pay off.
First one was in and went high. That one was on a pretty good line, but again, it's urethane, not reactive resin. You see just how much different Osku and EJ Tackett are playing that right lane.
And as the numbers indicated, there's a great chance he was going to make that. And that is our Spare the Game, brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate. Believe you will. It's funny how pros make that shot look so routine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the hardest spare to shoot at. Typically, you just move a couple boards right, and you use the same strike target.
And not much of that time left with a quitter 7-pin. 27-year-old, 7-time PBA champion.
He, too, is using a purple hammer, which he typically does, although he did say he threw some reactive resin this week.
He and Osku made this show in 2020 in Indianapolis and lost by a pin to Dom Barrett and Anthony Simonson, who are both major champions this year on tour.
Working on a double.
What happened there?
Bad luck.
It's okay. There's no logic behind that.
No. Again, and that ball pushes just a couple of inches farther down the lane, and watch what happens to his carry, his pin carry. Watch this kind of pin action here. Watch if he starts leaving ring intense.
Okay.
And that's because Osku's urethane ball is moving oil down towards the pins.
Talk about the left lane being such a pain, but Marshall Kent has figured it out. And this is our beer frame sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Grab a Pabst today and please drink responsibly. Yeah, they've already picked up the $1,000 to share between the two of them for the Pabst 6-pack, 6 strikes in a row. Meantime, this is a gentleman who needs his first strike of this game.
See it? Oh! Yeah, incredible break. But see what happened there? He tried to give it some more stuff, and it hooked at his toe. And went Brooklyn.
And if there's a guy who can give it more stuff, it's this guy.
Right. And I just, you know, I get that this is pretty much what he did all week, but looking at EJ Tackett's ball reaction, I mean, Osku can certainly move in and do the same thing.
And there, I was about to come up with some kind of clever pun for Messenger, and no such luck.
Well, just like EJ Tackett on the right lane, the same kind of weirdness happens on the left lane for Buttriff. Comes the head pin, it gets interrupted. Doesn't get over to the 7.
Yeah, I'm with him on that. I'm shocked. And the problem is, make your spares is nice, but not today. Not against Tackett and Kent the way they're going.
Right.
And Marshall Kent and EJ Tackett started in the 4th position. They have conquered 2 teams so far and have a 21-pin advantage in match number 3. standing by. Dance and DJ and the Candyman await the winner of this match.
Take a look at the comparison between E.J. Tackett and Osku on that right lane. A good 12 boards difference at the arrows. You can see just how hard and fast Osku is throwing it, but take a look at that number right there. That's position at the arrows. Big shot here, working on a strike, can increase the lead to 31. Let's see what happens to Tackett on this right lane.
That's what happens. My goodness.
Well, it could have been a lot worse for Osku and Jacob if EJ would have carried that hit in the fourth frame. That would have given 5 in a row, but nonetheless, Marshall can increase it to 41 with another hit right here.
Tackett just seems impervious to whatever else is going on. And so does this guy.
Take advantage, baby. Come on.
Wow.
Take advantage. Let's go.
These guys are wood chippers right now. Holy smokes.
Take advantage, baby. Come on. Yes, sir. Take advantage. Let's go.
I mean, the 10-pin is just getting massacred by Kent and Tackett. It's really taking a beating.
Okay. Yes.
Wow. Now that was dirty. I mean, the 10-pin fell with a messenger. The 7-pin looked like somebody hit it with a taser.
Well, his power is insane. He'll take it, of course. I've always thought that you need to cover your ears when this guy gets going because his strikes are so loud.
He can bring the thunder.
But there you go. No, my goodness, the messenger just hit a speed bump. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, he can't get the 7 out.
Nope. That may be the story of this match for this team.
That's 3 in a row for Jacob Butcher. Not 3 strikes in a row, 3 7-pins in a row.
Yeah, you don't get any beer for that.
No.
Well, this Wednesday, the Big East tournament tips off on Fox and FS1. Who will rise up and take the crown of the world's most famous arena? Catch all the action starting Wednesday on Fox, FS1, and the Fox Sports app. My man Tim Brando will be there, among many others. Looking forward to that.
Zero effect on that right lane.
Good shot.
For E.J. Tackett.
This is awe-inspiring right now.
Boy, I don't think I've seen him look this good since the last time he won his last major. I mean, he looks amazing today. Oh, no.
Well, you've seen one of the few times a right-hander gets a solid 7-pin.
So good. You gotta be kidding me. Just a little inside, but there's the stone 7 left for you.
With a head pin. Just.
Max scored 208 for Palermo and Butcher. That's a really bad time for that to happen.
It's okay, buddy. Shake it off. Don't worry about it. Right.
Yeah.
That's what he said, too.
All right, now I got the score. They only need 3.
Yeah.
Even if that's if Palermo and Butcher strike out.
Ball change for Osku there, and he rips the rack.
Now, they're not going to advance, but good to see.
Yes, it is.
Osku back. You know we're going to see Jacob.
Osku, a 5-time champion. Buttrick, a 7-time champion. And just not their day. That's just all there is. So sometimes it's just not your day, no matter how good you are. And obviously Jacob Buttriff is quite good.
See that number right there. Those stats are brought to us by our good friends at Lane Talk. For more information on Lane Talk, visit lanetalk.com.
It's beginning to sound a lot like Portland in here, because Portland, Maine, that is, because this audience, the live audience, has been tremendous.
Yeah, it's good to be back in Milwaukee.
That kind of sums the day up for him. This game, anyway, not the whole. Yeah.
Yep. All right. One more to go for this guy right here and his partner, Marshall Kent.
You warned me about that.
Just saying.
Well, what does that mean in your mind?
Well, if he leaves more than one, he's going to make some kind of adjustment.
With equipment or positioning or what?
I think he just does it with his hand.
Okay.
Although he's going to go to that other ball. Is he going to go to that other ball again?
No.
Remember the last two fill shots, he switched to that other ball. Yep, he's going to it.
That's the same one that he did in the 10th, which he struck with, by the way, in the last game. Look out.
All right, one more, baby. Come on, one more. Third ball, man.
Another win for Kent and Tackett, but a little intrigue may be building with the right lane and E.J. Tackett as they get set to take on D.J. Archer and Sean Maldonado for the championship of the Roth Holman doubles. They're back in the title game where they have yet to win. These guys have finished fifth 3 times. This is their first chance at first place, and they're in first place already. Can they hold it against a team that is ripping hot? So more major championships on the way. Of course, you remember Jason Belmonte winning the PBA Players Championship final presented by Snickers, defeating Sean Rash, and this ridiculously talented bowler, Anthony Simonson, who beat E.J. Tackett, and our most recent major champion back in the winner's circle for the Dominator, Dom Barrett, who beat Chris Prather 210 to 189. Still to come, the PBA World Championship next Sunday on Fox at 1 p.m. Eastern, presented by Pabst Blue Ribbon, and April 3rd, the USBC Masters on Fox at 1 o'clock. We take a look at the playoff point standings, and it is brought to you by Kia. And, of course, Belmo on top, Simonson second, Barrett third. You do get triple points for winning a major championship. But in yellow, some gentlemen who are bowling today.
Yeah, and the big surprise on that list was the guy in 10th, Kyle Troop. Remember, he made almost $500,000 last year.
Yep. Yeah, been a little bit of a slower year for Kyle. And for Jason Belmonte, nobody was surprised that he came back to form. And let's take a look at the stepladder, where we are now with just one match to go. It began with Kendon Tackett, and they took care of Smallwood and Sterner comfortably. Sean Rash and Matt Ogle rolled a 244 and lost by 35. And then you saw Kendon Tackett slow down just a little bit, but Osku and Butters just could never get it going, especially Buttriff on that left lane. So, Randy, you made an interesting point both on and off the air with me about E.J. Tackett and this right lane. And this, we've talked all the time about how the left lane might determine this champion, but maybe now in this game it's switching.
Yeah, I think that the urethane going down on the right lane, it may affect E.J. Tackett's pin carry. He's not going to miss the pocket. He's dialed in. He's locked in. And I think the only way that Kenton Tackett lose this title match is if E.J. can't strike on that right lane.
Well, the gentleman that Tackett and Kent will be bowling against are standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. So you guys have been in this doubles championship before, but this is the first time you sitting in the #1 seed. Does that add pressure or take away pressure?
Might be a little bit of pressure, but you know, I was talking to Sean on the offset, you know, over there on the other lanes, and I told him we're just gonna, you know, make 5 good shots each and see what happens, and you know, hopefully we come out on top.
Well, let's talk about those shots because you guys are in a completely different area than you were in qualifying. So, Sean, are you guys changing up your game plan at all?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we were
throwing some shots here. We were doing what we did in qualifying, and it looked pretty good. So we're just going to continue doing that.
All right, well, we'll see you guys in the final match.
Thank you.
So what do you think of their chances?
I mean, I think their chances are really good. They've got great team chemistry. You know, I think they've got just as good a chance. But the comfort level is with Tackett and Marshall. They've got 3 games under their belt. They know exactly what the lanes are giving them, so they're comfortable. I mean, Sean Maldonado and DJ Archer are coming in fresh, and the nerves are going to be there. There's no nerves on Tackett and Marshall's side. But let me just reiterate. E.J. Tackett, when he hits the pocket on the right lane, and he's going to hit the pocket, they win if he strikes when he hits the pocket. And they don't win if he gets 9.
So watch for lots of ringing or maybe even the occasional quitter 10 for Tackett. He hasn't had many of them except near the end of that game, but they already had that one in hand. So you've got 2 guys looking, actually 2 teams looking to win this title for the first time. They've been on the show a bunch. They have yet to grab that trophy and have Marshall Holman sign it. One of these teams will get that honor when we return to Wauwatosa for an uninterrupted championship match. There's the man, Mark Roth, and you see the autographs. I can see Jacob Buttress' autograph there, just on the right-hand side, signed by many of the players here at the Guaranteed Rate World Series of Bowling, number 13, by the way. So much more bowling to come here in Wauwatosa, and they have embraced this event here.
In the number 1 seed, Sean Maldonado and DJ Archer.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Here's the Candyman. He's been bowling very well. Starting in 2021, he grabbed a couple of titles, a Chameleon and the Lubbock Sports Open, his first 2 titles for the 10-year vet. He should approach this match with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it all changed for him when he took his thumb out of the ball.
Yeah, there we have a 7-pin kicked aside.
And interestingly enough, Maldonado using urethane on that left lane. How will that affect Marshall Kent's ball reaction?
All right, you heard Randy at the desk. Tackett Kent wins if Tackett strikes when he hits the pocket.
And there's the ball change. And he goes high. Went to a Venom shock.
And really the first time that I can remember that he's gone high.
Well, he went to the bigger ball, and he has to create more angle now. Remember the practice from DJ Archer. Sorry, it's not a Venom shock. It's a Venom smoke. What does that say? It says shock. Okay. Christus, I can't read your writing.
All right, bud. Pick me up. Let's go.
All right. Now there's an advantage to climbing the ladder. Of course, you feel good about yourselves. You've won 3 matches already, but now the disadvantage is the lanes have been changing constantly. You have 2 new foes who are going to tweak it. Let's see what Marshall does.
That's a good point. Yep, see that? Yep. That looked fast. Checking with Christus and our strike track powered by Kia. Speed-wise, being told it was too far to the right.
Whoop, up, 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 up. He'll restart everything. Now remember, he missed a 7-pin earlier, but it didn't really have any effect on the match.
Well, I'll tell you what, that location looked pretty good.
Hey, that one.
Almost like he heard you.
Yeah.
I just moved a little too much. That's okay. Hey, good shot.
Nothing personal, Marshall, just pointing out a fact. Here's DJ. He and Sean used to live in Texas. Sean still does. You see DJ now in Simpsonville, South Carolina. 2-time champ.
He had one of the funniest comments ever, I'll tell you, after this shot. Oh, boy.
He's going to need a joke right about now.
Oh, boy.
I got a terrible ball reaction.
Isn't that interesting? You heard him just say, I have a terrible ball reaction. And E.J. Tackett has a great ball reaction.
All right, so you talked about how you're concerned about the way Osku attacked the lanes and how it might affect Tackett. What about now with this Roth that is a part of his game? Yes! Oh, my!
What a spare. If he misses the 3-pin, it's 7 out.
All right, right now.
Not only does he not miss the 3-pin, he converts the 3-4-7.
Remember that for later in the match.
Maldonado using a black hammer.
Oh, way left. Wow, did he get a break to have that 7 tap?
Huge break.
Better than that.
Watched him last night, and it was like he didn't miss for 2 games.
No, he was amazing. They both were.
Like he struck every ball for the 2 games that I watched.
All day yesterday, they were in the top 5, and usually in positions 1, 2, and 3.
All right.
Not bad. One of those fell off my hand.
Well, interestingly, we have developed a spare shooting contest.
Very curious as to why EJ went to this ball. I'd sure like to know what was going on in his head when he made the change. But that's why he's down there and I'm up here.
Well, that's a pocket strike that you warned us to watch for. And the 10-pin is just overwhelmed here.
A lot of deep breaths for Marshall. First frame and now here, or his first shot, and now here in the 4th. Remember the last time he went light, he said he moved too much.
The only thing he moved there were pins.
Come on, nice shot. Come on.
Pretty impressive performance thus far by this team. I mean, that just splits the 8-9 in half. DJ just made a ball change. I think that's a UFO alert. Same result.
Oh my God, it's actually worse. Well, he is bowling this lane differently, his way, of course, than some of the others we've seen today. In fact, everybody that we've seen today on that right lane.
Take it up.
Can he do it again? Sure he can! Of course he can! Can't you?
Are you kidding me? That's incredible. Wow. In my 22 years, I've never seen that.
It's Dino Castillo over there he spoke to for a moment. Wow.
Incredible. Better? So, not really liking what I'm seeing. You got your partner that can't hit the pocket, and I mean that shot there looked pretty good, and it went awfully straight.
So an early deficit for the top seeds. Their 4th appearance in the televised Roth Holman doubles. They've had 3 straight 5th places. Kimberly, you've got some information, I understand, about EJ made the ball change.
I do, because I just spoke to Brett Spangler, EJ's ball rep, and he said that EJ changed balls because the other one was a stronger core and cover, and EJ thought there was just too much friction, and he wanted something a bit weaker, and he was actually looking at it in the previous match.
No.
All 10 pins to concussion protocol.
Watch the one that flies in the air.
Oh. God, it's like the ball created a vortex and just sucked all the pins off the deck.
Well. No, be the ball, Marshall. Be the ball.
36 now.
Who said this was a square shooting contest earlier?
That's right, baby. Let's go. Come on. That's how you do it.
There you go.
Yeah, it looked like he just had to move deeper, you know? He had too much friction, so he moved in a little bit more. And
Come on now, one for me.
Well, the Candyman, just one strike so far. That was the opening shot. There you go. Kick save and a beauty on the 10-pin.
well, exactly what they needed, but
Loose now. Yeah.
they're still down 26, and EJ and Marshall can increase that to 46. That last strike that he threw on this lane was so dirty.
For our audience in California, you're not having an earthquake. It's just a Richter scale reaction from what EJ Tackett has done today. Everything is fine there.
EJ smack it.
Wow.
All right. Yep. Deep breath. Go through your process. Don't lose focus on what you're doing.
You feel badly for Archer and Maldonado because they can't do that.
Yeah, they haven't.
Not that kind of overwhelming collapsing of pins like that.
Yeah, agreed. Big shot here for Archer. Nope. All but over now.
They could never find that lane. He even said, I don't have good ball reaction. And despite his heroic spare shooting, split shooting is actually what it was. I think that Marshall Kent and EJ Tackett are about to get an autograph from Marshall Holman.
Sorry, partner. That's my bad.
Interesting how Team Archer and Maldonado both have that little hop at the foul line. Over. Look at Marshall Kent.
Well, they're calm now, but I think the heart rates have jumped. They know. They know what you know.
I think Marshall Kent's last win was 5 years ago.
2017, we were there. It wasn't at the tournament. It came down to one shot, and he was on the bench when he won.
Yep. He threw the last 4 or 5 against Barnes to make Barnes show up. And
Chris had to throw a strike, and those conditions were super difficult.
Yeah.
One more time.
Times they've made it to the big show in the doubles.
Yes!
Remember EJ's World Series last year? Didn't get it. He was in every show. He was a presence and never won. He gets a World Series win here. That shot, of course, means nothing. Marshall a winner for the first time since 2017.
Oh, my God.
And Tackett, who won the Lucy last year with Danielle McEwen, is a doubles champion again. Maldonado. This will be their best finish in this event. Second place. And you know they're going to be back. You know these two teams will reunite next year for the Roth Holman. I'm guaranteed about that.
I mean, what a performance today.
This was awesome. This was truly breathtaking. Their low score was in the 220s. They had a 279. They opened with a 244, and they closed with a 245.
247, 279, 225, 245.
And 247 in the first, so, yep.
In an alternate shot format.
Nice to see DJ finish. Not going to find a much nicer guy in the sport than that man.
Yeah.
And Marshall Holman will be signing. And another thing for Marshall Kent, this is his first win since losing his dad a couple of years ago.
Good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing it. Thank you. This is for Mark. Oh, that's enough.
Well, they would have made Mark Roth proud with that performance. That was a Rothian performance.
Oh, boy.
You talk about cranking it to victory. That's exactly what these two guys did in honoring the late Mark Roth when we lost in November of last year.
Thank you.
And his widow Denise signing along with Marshall Holman, with Marshall Kent and E.J. Tackett, your champions. For Kent, his 5th title. For E.J., his 15th.
That's perfect. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Not even 30 years old, Tackett.
And I don't think that E.J. Tackett missed the pocket the entire day.
And he's rooting for you.
How about that?
Yeah. How many strikes did he throw? I mean, it's insane what Tackett did today.
The final number, Tackett, 16 of 24.
He does, I mean, that's why I'm not...
Marshall, 13 of 20.
Your champions, and they are deserving winners. E.J. Tackett and Marshall Kent win the first tournament on the World Series of Bowling. The guaranteed rate World Series of Bowling 13 starts off with an explosive victory for E.J. Tackett and Marshall Kent. The thrill of victory for E.J. Tackett and Marshall Kent. They certainly had tasted the agony of defeat in this tournament before, 4 other times, including losing in the final twice. They took care of business today. There was going to be no losing to anybody as E.J. Tackett picks up his 15th title and Marshall Kent picks up his 5th. And Randy, they were dominant.
Yeah.
Period.
It was some of the best execution that we've seen in a while from both players. It wasn't that long ago at a U.S. Open, the tournament leader, E.J. Tackett, his execution was very poor. And today he didn't miss the pocket.
No, not at all today. He dominated the pocket on the right lane, Kent on the tricky left lane, and they are standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. As you can hear, that this crowd is super pumped for these guys. Can we just talk about how the pure emotion and excitement I saw that you guys gave when you knew that you won this? It's been 5 times that you've made this. What does this moment mean to you?
I can't even put it in words, honestly. We kind of joked last year, said all we got to do is not qualify second, because the last 4 times we made the show, we qualified second and lost. So, so we qualified 4th, and here we are. So it's very surreal, and the crowd is unbelievable here. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Wisconsin. And I just want to say it one more time, Mom, Jordan, we got one for Dad, baby. We got one.
I love that dedication. Now, you guys were absolutely dominant throughout all of this. EJ, you didn't miss the pocket at all. How were you able to do that?
My ball reaction on this pattern had been really good the whole time we bowled. And I just came out today, and honestly, this is one of my best performances on TV that I've ever had. I felt like I threw really good shots all day. I got a few lucky breaks, but you know, it was one of those days that everything just went right for us.
Well, it's been a little bit of a drought for both of you guys, but you guys made it here. Do you feel like this is redemption for you?
Absolutely.
Now, can we talk about that left lane and the redemption you had on it? Because everybody struggled on it except you. How were you able to do that?
Got lucky.
I think it was a lot more than that. What was key for you to figure out that left lane?
You know, I found this little trick where I kept telling my rep, Woj, you know, if I could find something to the right, then we're in play, because moving left looked pretty ugly on the left lane, and obviously EJ's look was really good, so all I had to do was kind of try to figure something out, and I found a little something in the track, and I moved 2 boards the whole day, so I got lucky.
Well, that luck absolutely paid off. So did your guys' skill. Congratulations on finally winning this championship.
Thank you so much. This one's for Mark. For Mark, baby. We miss you, Mark.
They didn't win it. They kidnapped it. I mean, it was just impressive what they did. And whether it was Marshall's deep breathing exercises or whatever it was, they struck the right tone as we recap what we just watched. And when it became obvious, Randy, they were going to win this one.
Yeah, 8th frame right here. Marshall Kent on that left lane. He carries that light mixer. And that gave him 6 in a row, and then EJ followed it up to 7, and it was over.
That's about as honest a display of emotion as you're going to see from 2 athletes anywhere.
And there we are, our strike track powered by Kia. You can see how the players were playing the right and left lane, how much different they were. But look at the accuracy of that red line under EJ Tackett's name. That shows you just how precise he was with every shot.
Those guys are thrown so hard they would have gotten a ticket in a school zone. That's how fuck they were ripping it today. And of course, Marshall Holman standing there, got to autograph. Great victory for these two. An explosive victory to start the Guaranteed Rate World Series of Bowling, because we have so much more. After the Roth Holman doubles has concluded, which it has, we go off to the PBA World Championship presented by Pabst Blue Ribbon next Sunday on Fox at 1 Eastern, followed by the Cheetah Championship on the 14th, the 15th, the Scorpion Championship, and the PBA Shark on the 16th, all of those on FS1, and then the PBA Collegiate Invitational presented by Storm, all here at Bolero Wauwatosa, March 20th at 2:30. And also, got to add, Randy, our own thanks to this incredible crowd that we had here.
Look, Milwaukee's a bowling town.
Yep.
And it always has been. It's always been one of the best and the greatest bowling towns we've ever gone to.
Yeah, and that is a good example of it right there. So your champions today for the Roth Holman doubles are EJ Tackett and Marshall Kent. My thanks to Randy, Kimberly, and our entire crew.
Thanks for being here.
I wouldn't want to be anyplace else. Don't forget to head to the PBA YouTube channel in just a few minutes for the PBA Post Show presented by Kia. Next Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern on Fox, the PBA returns with the 4th major of 2022, the PBA World Championship, presented by Pabst Blue Ribbon, right here from Bolero, Wauwatosa. Coming up next here on FS1, we head to the desert for NASCAR Race Day Las Vegas. For Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, and our incredible crew, I'm Dave Lamont. You've been watching the PBA on FS1. Good day.